Hi, welcome everyone. Today we're going to see a car that, for many fans of Italian motoring, you could say is something of a holy grail, the Fiat Tipo 2.016V, or, as the Italians say, 16 valvole. I hope that's how they actually say it. This is a car from a time when 147 horsepower meant a lot, and at the same time when a compact car in a very sporty version wasn't just for the chosen few. Still, there were quite a lot of them on the streets. I warmly invite you to meet Wojtek and his Fiat Tipo.
Hi, I'm Wojtek. I came from Kobiernice. I wanted to introduce you to a Fiat Tipo with a 2.016V engine in an unusual version from 1991. Generally, I like unusual cars. My previous one was also very unusual. It was a Fiat 500 Terberg in a cabriolet version, a very strange car, practically unheard of in Poland. From what I know, there are now 3 of them in Poland, brought from the Netherlands because that's where it was imported from. I regretted selling it a bit. It was something different, something cool. I searched for that Fiat for a good 3 months before I even decided to go see the car. Even though the trip was in winter, in January, during severe frosts, the journey itself was done in stages. Because when I rented a tow truck, it broke down after just 5 kilometers on the way to the Czech Republic. So I had to go back and apologize to the owner that I would be a bit later than I should. And then I went in my own car to take a look and leave a deposit. In the Czech Republic. When I got there, I was surprised because it was an older gentleman and he just kept it in a barn under 3 blankets. He removed the battery from the house, connected it, and started it immediately at minus 25 degrees. The story of this car is really interesting because from 1991 to 2018, it was owned by a private Austrian owner. The sale was forced because the fuel pump in this car broke down and the local mechanics weren't able to fix it, so it was supposed to go to the scrapyard. The man who was selling it, well, he was fascinated by Italian cars because he also had a Lancia Delta and some other cars from that era, and he slowly wanted to part with his collection. Well, the first one to go was the Fiat Tipo, so that's how it all started. With this car, from 2018 to 2024, he only drove 4,907 kilometers. He said he only drove it in good weather. And what's the mileage on it now? 132. I drove 800 kilometers with this car in just 1 year. So you also keep it under 3 blankets. It's hidden because it's a shame, just like you said in the magazine. It's a shame to wear it out because the parts for this car are really expensive and basically unavailable.
Because, well, let them lose it. It'll be because of the fuel pump.
It was fit for scrapping, yes, and in the Czech Republic, well, the guy also gave up because of the sunroof, because the sunroof didn't work. And when he went to the mechanic, that's what he told me. The mechanic said that's enough too. Well, it would have to be scrapped. It's just not worth repairing things like that in this car now.
Did you buy it just as we see it here, or did you have to change or fix anything in it, well, besides the mentioned sunroof?
I mean, not repaired, it was just lubricated because the seal had swollen, and that was the reason the sunroof wasn't working. My changes were that the alloy wheels were original Fiat Tipo 16 valvole, but I wanted something that would bring back more of the 90s vibe, so something classic. Borbet A, 16-inch size, a rare 4x98 bolt pattern. Because most of them are mainly for Volkswagen, these Borbets sometimes end up on Lancia. The badges have been replaced with new ones. All of them had to be sourced from abroad, mainly from Italy. All in all, the cost of one badge is somewhere around, on average, 50 euros. Even the front one, the regular one, which doesn't fit with Troscinkovic, it was damaged by hail. The hail damage was repaired with great difficulty. It was sent in because it's water-based paint, old, and there was a fear that the paint would come off under the glue, but it worked out. Here, there's plywood left by the previous owner, Casa. It's not yet proof of originality.
You could say that.
It's original. Someone here tried to fix this piece, and it turned out the way it did. I'm not touching it because the hood is in the original paint. The car was completely original. I asked the seller to use a paint thickness gauge, he agreed, and my measurements confirmed it was all original.
Dear viewers, the partner of this episode is MUBIPL, which is a well-known way to buy cheap insurance. This comparison tool checks offers from many different insurance companies and gives you a ranking of the cheapest offers when you buy through MUBI Poland/Zakar. Additionally, after purchasing a policy, you can also get 100 Polish zloty cashback. Check it out yourself, even if your policy isn't expiring right now. After entering your car's details, you'll get an overview of the entire market in just a few seconds. Keep in mind, though, the prices shown will be before the cashback is deducted. You can compare this with how much you paid for your last policy. It might come in handy in the future. The link is in the description. Let's not overpay for insurance.
The heart of this car is a 2.0 16V engine with 107 kW, which means 147 horsepower. Acceleration to 100 km/h is 8.4 seconds, and the catalog mixed cycle fuel consumption is around 9.4 liters. The engine was installed in the same way in the Lancia Delta Integral, except this one is a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder with 4 valves per cylinder, and at higher revs it gives a great driving experience. As for the engine, it's completely original, nothing has been rebuilt or repaired. The previous owner used 5W-30 oil. But I changed my mind, and after discussions with my friends from Italy, they recommended switching to 15W50 oil for classic and high revving cars. There haven't been any engine modifications, it's completely original. The presented Fiat Tipo differs from the regular one mainly by the grille, which is different and only appears in this version. The bumper has red strips, which distinguish this model from the standard Tipo. Next, there are the 2.0 16V badges indicating the engine capacity, an electric sunroof, electric mirrors, electrically operated front windows, which can be closed and opened automatically. Which was rare, you could say, for cars of this class at that time. The Momo steering wheel is the same only in this model and in the Fiat Uno Turbo. The center gauges include oil temperature measurement, oil pressure measurement, water temperature measurement, seats imitating Recaro, only in this version, the lattice work, the rear 16 valvole panel, the Tipo 2.0 badge and the spoiler, which appeared only in this model and I believe also in the Gran Turismo. The exhaust mimics the original since it's no longer available as seen in the trunk. An interesting fact, a cool solution probably taken from Mercedes. The rear mesh cover, I don't even know what it's covering, but it's some kind of weird invention from back in the day. I'm sure everyone is curious about what the spare wheel compartment looks like and whether there's a hole in it. Sometimes it goes all the way through, but here I'll surprise everyone because I actually have to dig into it right here. This is some weird solution, but everything here is original, and on top of that, the wheel looks like it hasn't been used since '91, and it still has air from back then, so there's plenty of space.
And the lid, it's not a plastic lid, that's right, I think everyone had that.
Not everyone. Tipo had it because it was a solution Fiat Tipo had to use since Ritmo had a terrible reputation when it came to bodywork. And by reducing this problem, it made the car a bit lighter because this car weighs around a ton with 147 horsepower. It really does a great job.
You can even see it here like this.
Well, there's a spot here where you can clearly see that it's plastic and it hasn't been unscrewed. Another interesting fact is that originally there are no headrests. And of course, there's confirmation of Rosso Corsa, the original Rosso Corsa paint imitating Ferrari. Interestingly, I'm sure everyone has already noticed that there are 2 different seats in the front, one light and one dark. But why that is, where it came from, I have no idea. The owner couldn't answer me either. He said it was already like that. So for now, it has to remain a mystery. Original Recaro seats for the Fiat Tipo. So if anyone has any for sale, I'd be very happy to buy them. Speaking of other things from that era, maybe not directly from that time, but still for CDs. For the Pioneer radio, the DEHP 7100R version with the little dolphins, a very desirable radio at the moment. It sounds great. The original speakers were replaced with JBLs, although they were pretty cheap because the old type dashboard isn't anything special, you could say. There's a problem with the sticky dashboard. A friend with a Ferrari had the same problem and I don't know how to fix it, I don't know how to clean it because everything sticks to it. The gear shift knob is already in my possession, brand new and original, so it just needs to be replaced. It would be cool to swap the seat belts here for red ones from the Cinquecento Sporting World. I already know they fit because I've checked, and there's plenty of space in this car.
I'll check that in a moment. In the discount. This is for the 2-meter tall guys.
Well, almost 2. I'm almost 2 meters tall.
So I won't have to adjust the seat.
I somehow fit and it's okay. Although I look strange from the outside when sitting in the car, because such a tall guy in such a car.
I drove this for 2 years. It's a big car on the inside, small on the outside, big on the inside. I'll show you in a moment. The last thing I expected to hear from Wojtek was that there's not enough space here. After all, this car gives you a huge amount of space, and those are my memories. Now I get in and I wonder what's wrong, because in this particular car I really can't straighten up. There was no such problem in my Fiat Tipo 1.6. It's definitely just a matter of the seats that are probably set up differently and that don't have any height adjustment at all, none at all. Exactly, I tried here and I fell back. That's the only trick I found. I got in here thinking I'd show you what a magic box this is, that it's so compact on the outside, but inside there's so much space, plenty. Because that's how I remember it, but then I get in and I'm on a stool actually about 10 centimeters higher than I expected to be. But just like it used to be all around me in my Tipo, there's a lot of space here, and the vibe is the same. I feel comfortable with the steering wheel in this car. Well, I can move a bit here. I had no problem finding my place, and there's still plenty of room for my knees here too. Maybe I've grown since there was also lots of space in my car's back.
There was a lot of space, and again, I'm too big for this car. What's going on? It wasn't supposed to be like this. I was supposed to get in here and feel comfortable like it used to be, but it's not good at all.
Times are changing here.
I don't know.
You could say
That I'm fatter than I used to be, but it's not width that I'm lacking, it's length, height. I don't know. Listen, let's finish these tests on the grass. I don't want to be disappointed.
My dear friends, we're starting the test drive. And maybe I'll say what I forgot to mention during the 2-meter guy test, because there I focused on the space. But there's something you can't convey. So on YouTube, the smell that's here, you could say it's a copy of what I felt in the Tipo after the facelift version. And it seems that this is the common denominator, the smell of Fiats.
it doesn't smell exactly the same.
The smell of Fiats. So that's also it. The smell really takes you back in time. And it worked, really. So even more so, although I'm sitting here, as you can see, a bit tilted to the side, but it's still nice. Before we turned on the cameras, we did a preliminary moose test and decided we wouldn't do it on camera, just in case, because this car was tilting quite a lot. And I did this test basically at a quarter strength, so you would still say, what kind of moose test is this? He barely swung left, right, and nothing came of it. He's scared. Yes, he's scared. And another thing is there's a reason to be scared, because you can't just go and buy another car like this. So yeah, a little bit, I have to respect the cars that come to me. That's one thing. I have 2 topics for you. You mentioned something about a magazine. It was just one word. Then the topic kind of faded away, and I think it's worth expanding on it.
Yeah, the topic with the magazine. It came from the fact that after the purchase, this car was put up for auction. And to my surprise, there was a lot of interest in this car online. Autocult started writing about this car and other foreign websites as well. And what made me write a rather reluctant message to the editorial office of Automobilista, because that was actually my first choice since I'm a reader of that magazine, so that's what I did. And to my surprise, the decision was made very quickly. And without hesitation, they wanted to take the car for a photo shoot and get more information so they could feature it in their magazine. And what's best, the car ended up as the main topic of the issue, which I'm very happy about.
Here we'll show the cover at this point, because I've already seen it in the meantime, and indeed the car is on the cover, so I have the car here. A celebrity, so to speak. It's already been in the press, so now it'll also be on YouTube. And who knows, do you even consider this car a Youngtimer, or is it just an exceptional, interesting version, but still an ordinary car? How do you see it? Sai?
Well, looking at this car from the outside, yeah, like everyone would say, it's just an ordinary car, nothing special, with that boxy shape, no flair, nothing. But I think there's something about it. This car has that certain something. Well, obviously the engine, and honestly, apart from the engine, there's not much else that's different in this car. But still,
After all these years, the fact that it's still completely original counts for something, right? That's significant.
a big plus, and it's still fun to drive. It's driving without any assist, which you just don't get anymore these days.
There's absolutely no electronics here, just don't do any tests. Washer. Besides that, honestly, you can drive it fast, you can overtake with it. Yes, you can overtake because of those 147 horsepower. I don't know if they're all really here, but the fact is, if you push harder in the right gear, because around 3,000, honestly, oh, now I'll shift to 3 in second gear, I'll give it some gas, it's already starting to pick up. Maybe it doesn't give a kick yet, but now if I hold it to... Right, now I have 4.5. First, there's the sound, and we're in just the right moment, kind of like a mini tunnel. That's how it is, so we can hear it. And in this car, there's much more engine, a lot more engine than in my Fiat Tipo, where it was still really quiet. Here it sounded like part of the car, not just the acceleration, but also just like that from
That's typically Italian.
manufactory. So indeed, this engine is present here both acoustically and as a massage in your back, provided you choose the right gear. Well, what can you do? It's not a turbo, so it needs to rev.
That's right. After all, that's what this engine is made for high revs. It likes those high revs.
Yeah, and it really does reach a different acoustic level, especially around those 5,000 RPMs. Suddenly I felt something more than what you can get just by revving it up in the parking lot. It was a different level.
It's something else, totally different.
Basically, it's a way to travel back in time. It also changes your perspective on today's automotive world, which has made cars so easy. Everything happens on its own. The cameras capture and show everything from every angle.
Yes,
And here you need to focus, really.
focus and
Looking instead of cameras, actually. Do you have these little mirrors here? I don't even know if in my model I had such small mirrors. I think I had bigger ones, because these are like the ones in the UNO. Maybe they changed something after the facelift, but I'm not sure. I think I did.
this is my first time with Tipo, so I have no idea.
You always get exceptional cars. First time with Tipo, and it was a special one. Before that, Cinquecento, and not just any model. These things don't happen by accident, so you have to choose carefully.
I know, I search a lot on the internet, I dig, you could say it like that. With all that digging, you can find and pull out a lot of things, but today everyone is also paying attention to things that are different from the normal standard stuff.
Alright, quick test drive. I'm getting out reluctantly. Actually, because I enjoy spending time here in this car, so all that's left for me is to thank you for this kind of time travel.
Thank you very much.
Also for the opportunity, and I want to congratulate you at the same time, that you have the keys here to something different. Really something different. Yes, and this is something different, not necessarily super expensive, but that's exactly what makes it more of an art to stand out.
To stand out.
Because I read a comment somewhere.
That today it's easier to spot a Lamborghini or something else very expensive on the road than some old sports car. Maybe it's not a typical sports car, but one that imitates a sports car, because Fiat wanted to achieve the same success as Ranch or something like that, but it didn't work out.
I'm curious then, what will be next? When you decide to change your car someday, will it be just as unique? But I believe it will. Thank you again for presenting the car, and thank you, my dear viewers, for watching this episode. Thank you as well. Remember to subscribe and see you in the next videos. Take care. Bye.
Hello to you all.
Mm.